Imagine for a moment that there is an intruder in your home. They aren't breaking windows or kicking down doors. They are moving silently through the hallways, weakening the foundation, loosening the screws in the floorboards, and fraying the electrical wires behind the walls. You sleep soundly, completely unaware, because everything looks fine on the surface. That is exactly what high blood pressure is doing to your body right now. It is not a dramatic event like a heart attack, at least not yet. It is a silent mechanical erosion of your entire vascular system. Today, I want to take you inside your own arteries to show you exactly how this silent killer operates, why you can't feel the damage until it's too late, and most importantly, the specific science-backed steps you can take to stop it. And I'm glad you're here because understanding this mechanism is the single most important thing you can do for your longevity if you want to stay empowered with real, no nonsense medical education that helps you live longer. Please take a second to click that subscribe button or like this video. It really helps us get this life-saving information to more people who need it. Before we dive in, I want to be clear, I am a doctor, but I am not your doctor right now. This video is for educational purposes. All the information I'm sharing is based on the latest guidelines from top medical organizations, and I've listed every single scientific source in the description box below so you can verify the facts for yourself. Always consult your own healthcare provider for personal medical advice. And let's start with the physics of the problem, because blood pressure is at its core a plumbing issue. In a healthy body, your blood flows through your arteries like a calm river. We call this laminar flow. It's smooth, organized, and gentle. The cells lining your blood vessels, called endothelial cells, love this type of flow. When the flow is smooth, these cells release a gas called nitric oxide, which acts like a natural balm, keeping the vessels relaxed and slippery. But when your blood pressure rises, that calm river turns into a raging rapid. This is where the damage begins. When the pressure is too high, the blood doesn't just flow, it hammers against the arterial walls, especially at the curves and branches of your blood vessels. And this creates a force called oscillatory shear stress. Think of it like taking a piece of sandpaper and rubbing it against the delicate inner lining of your arteries day after day, year after year. You don't feel the sandpapering happening, but your body does. This physical friction tears at the endothelial lining, creating microscopic injuries or micro tears in the vessel wall. These micro tears are the perfect hiding spot for trouble. If you have cholesterol circulating in your blood, specifically LDL cholesterol, it sees these little cracks as an open door. The cholesterol slips into the vessel wall and gets trapped, and your immune system sees this and attacks, creating inflammation. This mixture of cholesterol, immune cells, and debris forms a plaque. So high blood pressure literally creates the entry wounds for heart disease. And without that high pressure damaging the wall first, it would be much harder for the cholesterol to get in and start building the blockages that lead to a heart attack. But why is the pressure high in the first place? For many of us, it's because our body's fight or flight system is stuck in the on position. So this is the sympathetic nervous system. Evolution designed it to save you from a tiger. It clamps down your blood vessels to divert blood to your muscles. But today, the tiger is chronic stress, poor sleep, or obesity. Your nervous system is constantly squeezing your blood vessels, making the space inside smaller. Imagine trying to push the same amount of water through a garden hose that someone is stepping on. The pressure shoots up. And there's also a fascinating chemical battle happening inside your cells involving salt and potassium. Every muscle cell in your blood vessel walls has a tiny pump, the sodium-potassium pump. It works tirelessly to push sodium out and pull potassium in. When this pump fails, or if you eat too much salt and not enough potassium, sodium gets trapped inside the cell. Sodium drags calcium in with it, and calcium is the trigger for muscle contraction. So your blood vessels literally cannot relax. They stay tight and constricted, keeping your pressure permanently elevated. Now, let's talk about the quiet hurting. the damage to your organs that happens while you feel absolutely fine. The first victim is your heart. Your heart is a muscle, and just like your bicep gets bigger when you lift heavy weights, your heart muscle gets thicker when it has to pump against high pressure. And this is called left ventricular hypertrophy. But this isn't good muscle growth. The heart walls become thick, stiff, and fibrotic. The chamber gets smaller, meaning it holds less blood, and the muscle becomes so stiff it can't relax to fill up properly. This is the beginning of heart failure, and it often happens years before you get short of breath. Moving down to the kidneys, the damage is even more insidious. Your kidneys are essentially filters made of millions of tiny blood vessels. When high pressure hits these delicate vessels, they react by hardening to protect themselves, a process called nephrosclerosis. Under a microscope, a healthy kidney is smooth, but a hypertensive kidney looks like grain leather, bumpy and granular. It's essentially turning into scar tissue. You lose your filtration capacity, nephron by nephron, which is why hypertension is a leading cause of dialysis. Perhaps the only place we can actually see this damage without surgery is in your eyes. If a doctor looks into your eyes with a light, they can see the tiny arteries in the back of your retina. In high blood pressure, these arteries get so stiff and thick that they physically crush the veins underneath them where they cross. We call this AV nicking. And in severe cases, we see cotton wool spots, which are actually tiny strokes happening on your retina. And if this is happening in your eyes, it is virtually guaranteed to be happening in your brain and kidneys too. Speaking of the brain, high blood pressure is the architect of cognitive decline. You don't need to have a massive stroke to suffer brain damage. The high pressure causes silent strokes, tiny blockages in the deep parts of the brain that don't cause paralysis but slowly destroy your white matter. This disrupts the connections between different parts of your brain. Over time, this manifests as slowed thinking, memory issues, and vascular dementia. You are literally losing your processing speed because the wiring is being frayed. And there is one early warning sign that many people ignore, especially men. Erectile dysfunction is often the very first symptom of high blood pressure, appearing years before a heart attack. The arteries that supply blood for an erection are tiny, about 1 to 2 millimeters wide. The coronary arteries in the heart are bigger, about 3 to 4 millimeters, and so the plumbing gets clogged or stiff in the smaller vessels first. If you are experiencing this, it is not just a sexual issue, it is a cardiovascular red alert that your endothelial system is failing. This sounds frightening, I know, but here's the empowering news. This is reversible. The damage slows down and even stops when you get your numbers under control. The current guidelines, particularly from the American College of Cardiology, define high blood pressure as anything over 130 80ths. And we used to say 140 90ths, but we lowered it because research showed that damage starts happening much earlier. The goal is to get you below that 138th threshold. So how do we fix it? Diet is your most powerful tool, but it's not just about cutting salt. It's about adding potassium. Remember that sodium potassium pump? You need to flood your system with potassium to force sodium out and relax your vessels. This is the secret of the DASH diet. It's rich in fruits, vegetables, and low-fat dairy foods, high in potassium, magnesium, and calcium. These minerals act like natural medication, calming your nervous system and opening up your arteries. If lifestyle changes aren't enough, medication is not a failure, it's a tool to save your organs. Whether it's a diuretic to flush out salt or an ACE inhibitor to block the hormones that tighten your vessels, these drugs are designed to mimic the natural relaxation your body has lost. And the research shows that for every 10 points you drop your systolic pressure, you reduce your risk of heart failure by 28% and stroke by 27%. That is a massive return on investment for your health. Please do not wait for a symptom. Hypertension does not knock. It enters silently. Go get your blood pressure checked today. If it's high, don't panic, act. You have the knowledge now to understand what is happening inside you, and you have the power to change the physics of your own body. You can turn that raging rapid back into a calm, life-sustaining river. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you understand your body better, please share it with someone you love. It might just save their life. Check the description below for the full list of medical sources we use to create this video. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.